So, hi everybody, I hope you can hear me. If you can, please give me a sign in the chat. Can everybody hear me? So, hi everybody, I can hear myself on the TV screen. If you can, please, so give me, that means give me a sign in the chat. Give me a second though. Can everybody hear me? Close this window here. Hi everybody, so I think this is better. Is there an echo or anything? Everything working fine? Okay. Yeah, so is my sound fine? Can you hear me well? Please give me a yes if everything is okay with the sound. Then I will start working. Hi Richard, how you doing, buddy? I can hear you good. There's an echo though. Okay, let's find out where the echo comes from. Let's just look into OBS. Weird. Echo? Oh, no echo anymore. Great. Then it was probably just, I had an open window in the background, and it's possible that it was just doubling everything, basically. It was a browser window. So, good. Then we should be fine now. Yeah, so I should, maybe before we start, I should say what I'm going to do today. Maybe let's have something a little bit nicer to look at here while I'm speaking. Maybe don't show the navigation, so this looks a little bit more pretty. Okay, so today I wanna. So last time we did a little gameplay session. Basically, I just played the game in activist mode, and today the idea is that we do the same thing for the animal characters. I have to mention something beforehand, before I show you the playable animal characters. They're not as they're a little bit more rough than the human characters, because obviously when I started working on the game, the initial starting point was the activist character, so that's what I've been working on the most time, and the animal characters are way more early, so that means they're a little bit more not as refined. Oh yeah, I just see that I don't have the chat window here, so that is not good. I would like to have the chat window visible, so let me see. Okay, yeah, so now I have the chat window visible, which is good, because that way I can see what you guys are saying. So yeah, so just keep in mind that the animal characters are not as refined, so if they look a little bit rough, that's just because they're not done yet. And we actually have, I think, 4 or 5 characters, but I think today I'm going to just show 3 of them. So we're going to start with Miles, because I prepared a little bit of stuff with Miles. And then also what's going to be different from last time is I'm not only going to play, but I might just jump out of the game, because we're in the engine. So we might just do a little bit of live dev, so to say. So I just want to show you some of the systems and how stuff works, and how you can pretty quickly change stuff in the game. So yeah, so that's going to be different as well. So, and because that's a little bit more stuff than last time, the stream might go a little bit longer. So it's possible that I don't know, we go for 2 hours or something like that, but I'm not sure yet. Let's see. We're gonna just continue as long as it's fun. So let me just quickly see. So echo is gone. That is good. Nice. Hi everybody. Hi. So is there going to be a boxing kangaroo? Yeah. So Richard Vegan Games is asking if there's going to be a boxing kangaroo. I actually have kangaroos as a model, so it's not impossible. I'm not going to say that we're not going to do it. I just have to see how I fit that into the story. But yeah, that is also something I should mention, I think. I have I have a huge armada of animal characters that I have actually prepared for the game. They're not all done, so it's not like I can just throw them into the game right away. 4 or 5 of them are, as I said, but I actually have something like 24 different species, and then per species I also have unlimited amounts of variations, and I can change the models around and stuff. So there is actually an insane amount of content that I have, where the problem is just really I don't have the time to implement everything into the game. So that's why we are trying to raise some money, so that I can, get some people on the team who work full time, and then we can get more stuff done. So the game, becomes a little bit cooler than what I can accomplish just on my own, which is what I've done so far. Okay, so yeah, I would say let's just jump into the game and play around a little bit with Miles. So the cool thing with Miles is that he has a grapple hook mechanic. So you probably saw it in the trailer or something, and I think I shouldn't talk too much about it. I'm going to just start the game, and I'm going to just show you. So let's go Alt P, and that's going to start a play session, hopefully. Okay. By the way, the URL down there that you see, that's how you get. That's your quickest way to the campaign if you want to jump in there and help us out a little bit. And I have to also say that we had a really good start when it started off. Thus far, a pretty good week, but since yesterday we slowed down quite a bit. Of course, it's the middle of the week, so people are working and stuff. So, but just for you to know, if you want to help us out, now is the perfect time because the campaign has slowed down quite a bit. So, if you want to change that, hit this notification tape.com, and then that's how you or help us share it. Okay, so this is Miles. As you can see, his animations are not done yet. Like his strides are way too small for his speed, so the animation is absolutely not done. And that's also mainly because he's usually not a walking character. So his usual mode of locomotion is the grapple hook mechanic, because that's way more fun. So it's more of a Spider-Man-esque character than normal first-person characters. He's trying to run, he's actually not, and this is way more fun. And also, the animations make a little bit more sense. So you can just let him hang, which I like very much because I feel like that's just awesome. And then you got different types of target points, basically, which is what you see up there, the thing there, the UI element that you see. Those are the target points. There are different ones of them. These are for swinging, and then there's also target points for landing, which I'm going to try to show you. So basically, if you swing around a little bit, try to reach the higher point here, and up there I have a is a landing point, which means if I get that one, I'm going to just land here. Yeah, and as you see, there's still a lot of work to do with the characters, so that's for sure. But yeah, it's just, I think it's anyway a little bit of a ludicrous idea to have all these different species of characters, which means that the locomotion of our characters is completely different, which basically, in terms of the work on the playable characters themselves, instead of the work that you have for one game, actually they would usually make 4 games when you have 4 characters that are that different, because obviously the whole fire some people or I'm not gonna have life anymore. Yeah, so the cool thing is once we're up here, we kind of have a really nice view. And this is also, if you've seen the last screen, the problem was that, not the problem, but the point was that I started not at the place where you normally would start a level. This is actually, down there where, at the bridge where we were, this is where you would normally start the game, and then you're on the way to the forefront. Okay, so let's just rapidly our way. There we go. And this is a lot of fun. So Miles is one of my favorite characters to play because it's just grapple mechanics, ton of fun. One thing that I haven't implemented yet, but I'm definitely planning to do that is I want to so one thing that I really want to implement with Miles is that I want to give him a combat mechanic that is based on this grapple mechanic. So the idea is that the enemies are going to have target points at their body, so that you can use the grapple to basically jump towards them. And then my idea is that Miles would be basically giving them some kind of drop kick or something like that in the face, and that would be his primary attack. Yeah, so generally the idea is that the human character doesn't have all that much of combat, because obviously the violence is not the idea of the game. But I felt like I wanted to give the animals just a way to defend themselves. So the animals have combo, and they're very different. Like, we're gonna see the orangutan later on, and Omid has actually combat mechanic. It's basically a beat 'em up, which of course makes sense when you have an orangutan or big great ape. Anyway, you're just really strong, and so it makes sense that the game would feel like beat 'em up. At least to me, it makes sense that it would. So yeah, we're gonna see that later. So let's just walk around. So if you remember, 2 days ago when we had the last stream, this is basically the same level. So with just a few details that are different, this is exactly the same level. You have actually the enemies down there. You see one down there if you look. The cool thing is that right now they're not reacting to the animals, which means that I don't have to stress out about getting killed by the enemy, which is great because that way I can be a little bit more relaxed and show everything a little bit. It's going to be a little bit more chill to show you everything. So jump down here and then see these boxes that are here. The thing is, they again have this behavior that they look at you. So the idea is also one of the next things that I want to implement is a little bit of a dialogue system. Because the animals are going to speak, they're all going to speak. So that means when you deal with Mayas, you can have some dialogue with the foxes. So that's something I can do. Let's see how that goes. Oh, music is too loud. Let's see. Let me just jump out of the game real quick and change that. Okay. Is everybody agreeing that the music is too loud? Yeah, let's change that then. I think I can just pull down the general sound a little bit. That's just gonna mean that we're gonna just have to grapple hook our way back to this place, but I guess that's not a problem. And then you tell me if it's better now. Okay, so I can hear him just fine. Try headphones. Okay, so is it better with the music now? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, if this is not loud enough, then just tell me. I can change it again, but I feel like this could be okay. Okay, so let's get back to the forefront. The cool thing about Miles is also that he he's the fastest character to, if you want to get from point 1 to point 2, the easiest and fastest way and most fun way is to just go with Miles. And here we go. So, let's see. Okay, so music is okay now. Picture is in Helsinki. Oh, that's cool. You gotta send me a picture of that restaurant. Okay, so just a question to the chat: who has actually seen the last stream? Have you seen this place? Like, because this is basically, as I said, this is the exact same level. You have these, you remember when I showed you these security cameras from inside of the house. You basically, you can control them from the terminal is basically in there. You can control them from there, and the cameras are here. Oh, and I just went through them, which is no big deal actually, because as I said, the enemies are not reacting to the animals, so yeah, it's no big deal. I can just trigger the alarm. It's not a problem. So, what else did I want to show you here? Yeah, I mean, one thing that I think is just really cool, and it's just a simple thing, is the mere fact that you're a meerkat, that you're so much smaller as a character when you play Miles. I just find that it basically, although it is the exact same level, it turns the game into a completely different game. And I'm actually planning to tap into that. So one thing that I'm going to do is, when you play Miles, obviously, because of the size difference, this becomes almost like a platformer, and then also almost like a, as I said, a Spider-Man kind of game or something, which I want to really tap into that and kind of use that to bring more variety into the game. So yeah, there's going to be more traversal, and just the gameplay is going to be very, very different from and the idea is also that during the game that you look at these guys, that during the game you basically have to from time to time switch from one character to the other, so that because some stuff is going to be just not reachable for the activist, for instance, and then you switch to Miles, and then with Miles you can reach points where you normally couldn't get, and then the Fox is going to have different abilities that are going to basically force you during the game to switch from one character to the other, depending on what the actual task at hand is and what the quest that you're trying to complete is. Okay, let me see. So grappling around like here. Yeah. So if this is the first time watching the stream, I think for everybody who hasn't watched the other stream, I'm gonna just walk around a little bit inside here and just show basically, show everything a little bit, because, and then maybe, I don't know, later on maybe we can just switch to the activist character as well, to just have everybody see everything. But yes, the idea here is, obviously if we were the activist, we could now go here and free these as we did in the last stream. Because we're the meerkat, we're gonna just walk around. Also, the interactive foliage is also working with the other characters, which is also cool. As you can see, most of the foliage is interactive. Okay, so I would say I have an idea. Let me see. The cool thing is, if I want to get out of here with Miles, I don't even have to use the door. What we could do is I could just go upstairs and show you the terminal for everybody who hasn't been in the last stream, hasn't seen it. So basically go up here, the door, so normally we would stand up there, but of course because we're small now. Oops, what happened? We gotta come up here if we wanna control this. Oh, I don't even know if. Oh yeah, it works. This is awesome. Yeah, so we can still press the button. So this is basically all the security cameras outside are controlled from this control. So this gives a pretty nice opportunity for later on in the gameplay for, you know, building some puzzles and stuff where you have to come up here and maybe there is something that you have to look for and you can probably only see it through the cameras, or I'm not going to spoil everything now, so I'm going to just invent something to make a puzzle out of it. But yeah, that's that. So you can watch everything through the terminal here. Now let's just get out of the fur farm here. Why is the breakfast not coming out? No, this is weird. For some reason, grapple hook is not working right now. I don't know exactly why. Okay. Doesn't want to. Let me grapple up there. Okay. So, then we have to go through the door like normal people. I don't know why. It's not working right now. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just restart the game real quick. Because I might have just changed something in the controls, and that might be the reason why the grapple hook is not working. So I'm gonna just fix that by restarting the game real quick. Because the good thing is, it just really doesn't take us that long to get up there. Oh, and by the way, before I go up there, let me show you the lake down there a little bit, and you know what else is here. So basically, yeah, so grapple hook is working again. So, you know, you can imagine you could have a lot of fun with this. Right now it's just a really, really basic mechanic, but yeah, I'm gonna create something out of it. So, I'm also not gonna stay with mice for too long. I think I want to just show you a little bit more of the stuff here, and then I'm gonna switch to the fox character, and we're gonna maybe just explore the place a little bit more with the fox character. We're gonna stay in that same level, and then I might want to switch to Omid and show you the beat 'em up style gameplay, because I think that's fun too. Okay, so let's see. Where are we? There we go. There's target points basically everywhere. So, okay, so let's see. So the cornfield is also reacting to this little guy. I think it's particularly a lot of fun to just walk through this stuff and have the plants react to you. Yeah. So, okay, I think let me just ask the chat if there's something you wanna see before I switch to the fox character. So, music is fine now. Game. Yeah, well, it's you know, and with the animal characters, there's not much of a game yet, but because, you know, obviously this is just a prototype. But yeah, I mean, in general, if you take everything together, I think I don't know any other game that has probably, you know, that tried to do anything that comes close to this. So yeah, I think it's going to be pretty unique. If you Yeah, that is true. To humanize them too much, that wouldn't make sense. But in terms of that, I have to say Miles plays an extra role, because Miles is not just a meerkat. He is actually been part of experiments. So that means he is a genetically altered meerkat, and that's why he has a lot of special abilities that you will not see with the other animal characters. I mean, with the exception of most of the basically all the animal characters behave like animal characters, except of course the fact that they speak. But the fact that they speak is also not. It is completely ignored in the game, which means that the whole purpose of them speaking is really to make them, to integrate them more into the story, which obviously is going to be easier when you can have them actually speak in a way that humans understand. But yeah, I agree that I'm trying to stay as true to the nature of the species and of the different animals as I can. But at the same time, you want to have them. If you want to integrate them into a story and you want to basically have them interact, with each other and with other characters, it's just way easier to do that when you just give them human speech. Okay. Yeah, I also find it pretty interesting that everything just looks way different from down here than if you're with the activist. So I would say I'm gonna jump out and I'm gonna just switch to the fox character if there's nothing that anybody would like to like you being more fantastical and more realistic. Yeah. That's definitely the idea that the fact that you can play the animals is supposed to just open up the scope and open up the possibilities, basically, to give the game, more, just more of a palette of mechanics and more stuff to have fun with. Because obviously it's a lot of work, so if you're going to put in a lot of work and resources, it should benefit the gameplay, and benefiting the gameplay for me means just has to increase the fun. So okay, let's jump out of here and look for a fox character that we wanna control. For that, I just have to. So now I'm gonna jump out of this immersive mode, and what you see is that this is basically Unreal Engine. So this is where all the magic happens. So the whole game is made within Unreal here. And yeah, now I'm gonna basically stay in this level, and I'm gonna just switch to a different character, and I'm gonna show you how you do that. So if we go here, I could even, if I wanted, choose the anime character, and I could make basically put the settings in a way where I could control him, but I'm obviously not gonna do that. Instead, we have a few fox characters here, and every fox character is theoretically a playable character. So what we're going to do is we're going to just select this character. Then we go over here where we have all the different settings. So there's basically I don't know, is anybody interested in this? Like I can just show you around the engine and kind of explain a little bit of the concepts, how the engine works, but I don't want to bore you. So if this becomes boring, just tell me, and then I'm gonna just switch back to playing. But I can just give you a little bit of a 101 on how Unreal Engine works. You might want to grab it. It doesn't cost anything. I mean, as long as you're working on a game, you can just work on it for free. So if you want to give it a try, you're going to get a little bit of an intro now. So up here you have something called the outliner. So you see here, that's the outliner. And the outliner basically contains every element that is out here in the level. So right now, of course, I have typed in Fox up there, so it doesn't show everything. But as you can see here, there's like 5,267 elements within this level. and one of them is this fox. So now that I clicked on the fox, down here in the details panel, I'm getting, hi Leon, hi. In the details panel, I'm getting all the different settings that I can choose and that I can basically play with for the fox character. And the fox character is something called a blueprint, which in Unreal Engine is basically like a like a entity of code. Like so most characters are gonna be definitely blueprints, and there are different forms of blueprints. One of them would be a character blueprint, which is exactly what we have with the fox. And this is basically the blueprint itself. I can open up the blueprint and completely change the logic of the character, which I don't want to do right now. So, but if I want to just change some superficial settings, I can do that right here in the settings. So I'm going to look for something called possess. So here it says auto possess player. If I choose player 0, what that's going to do is next time that I'm going to play, this fox character is basically going to possess my controller, and I'm going to play the fox. The only thing that I have to do now is, because right now we have the same setting for the Miles character, I just have to go to the Miles character and disable the possess for him. So I'm going to do that right now. We look for player. So it's called player start. That's my Miles, and we disable the same setting with him. And now when I press play, we should play as the fox. Oh, and I want to go to immersive mode again, because obviously we want to. So let me just jump back out and set this to immersive so that we have a full screen. Okay, here we go. So, fox gameplay now. Yeah, I think Kana is with us here in the chat. For the team, they have, of course, basically tried everything, and I just sent out a demo specifically for the team a few weeks ago, and I think Kana said her favorite was playing the fox. Oh, there's something is wrong. Oh no, it's fine. I thought there was something wrong with the animation, the walking animation. I think it's okay. I think I was just too slow, so it didn't react. Yeah, so as you can see, the interactive foliage is also interacting too. Our fox character here. Basically the same level, but now there seems to be something invisible there. Yeah, so we can jump. We can just look cute. And that's basically, there's not a lot to the Fox gameplay right now, so it's just cute. But otherwise, there is not a terrible lot you can do. What you can do though, and that is basically for the demo, that's going to be the main focus of the Fox gameplay, is going to be that there is Fanula the Vixen, which is played and voiced by Tanya O'Callaghan, and so it's obviously an Irish Vixen then. And she's going to be the character who's going to basically go and free or go and lead all the other animals from the fur farm out into freedom. And for that, there's a mechanic where you can basically walk towards another fox. It might not work now because there's some settings I have to I have to make sure that they're set, and I'm not sure if that's the case right now, but we can try. So I cannot promise to you that it works, but let's see. Yeah, it should actually work. Stay here. Okay, so I'm going to press Y, and if we're lucky, that doesn't seem to work. So, but you see that there's at least the UI element is working. So when we go towards another fox, we can press Y, and when it works, it makes the other fox basically follow us. And that's going to be the way to free all the animals. You basically got to make sure that you don't get caught by, by the skinners at the fur farm. And then at the same time, you want to walk around and then basically go towards every other fox and tell them to follow you, and then they follow you, and then you lead them out of the fur farm. That's the idea. So, like the relative realistic animal design and control. Fox looks great. Thank you. Thanks. Yeah. The whole team and I, we really love the foxes. It's not only as playable characters, but they're also really awesome when you just have them, as NPCs just walking around. It's just absolutely awesome because they have different behaviors. So, they might just lay down at a place and just sleep. If they get hungry, they go and they look for something to eat, and it's pretty awesome to. I mean, it's awesome to play them, but it's also really awesome to just watch them as NPCs. That's also really cool. Yeah. So what else can we do here? We could actually free. So I happen to know the level because I happen to be the person who put everything into the level. So I know that downstairs there is exactly one fox. And that one fox is right now caught. So I think we're gonna just go downstairs and try to free our fox buddy. What do you think? So these are the cages, obviously, where normally you will then have animals in them and you can free them. And if you want to see that, I don't think we're gonna have the time to show that off in this stream because it's gonna get too much, and I don't want to make it too long. But if you want to see, how the gameplay as a human and the activist gameplay, just go and watch the other stream. So on the other stream, I basically show off most of the stuff in the normal humanoid, well, not humanoid, it is human. So it's in the normal activist gameplay where you play a human. So this is a little bit tricky because this is something where we might get stuck. So let's hope that doesn't happen. Oh no, I think we got stuck. Okay, that went well. So, yeah, one problem with the foxes, there is something called foot IK, which is basically making sure that the feet of the character always have contact to the ground, basically. So, and with humanoid characters, that's pretty easy to do because you only have 2 feet. And then with quadruped characters like the fox, it's a little bit more complicated. And right now, because as I said, not everything is really done yet, that sometimes leads to the character just getting stuck in some places, which is, sometimes frustrating. But we're gonna definitely take care of that before we release the demo. Or I'm gonna try to take care of that definitely before the demo is gonna go out after the campaign. And if you don't know that, so the idea with the campaign is that everybody who supports the campaign, and it doesn't matter which tier or how much you support the campaign, it starts with $10, and everybody gets a playable demo by before the holidays, basically. So the campaign goes until the 22nd of December, and the idea is that for the holidays I want to just have everybody have something to play at. So, okay. And this is, by the way, what I was talking about in the last stream, when I said the reflections are real. So as you can see, we do reflect on the floor. So, nothing fake here. So, let's see. and I think I got stuck on the trigger box, right? Yep, that's what just happened. No problem. We're gonna just jump out and jump back in. What I'm gonna try to do though is, how am I gonna make? I have an idea. Let me try something. Let's go out of immersive mode real quick. So Fox. Oops. Let's look for our Fox character. I think, yeah, which one of the foxes? This one is the one that we just had. Yeah, let's just bring him down here. Okay. Oh yeah, this is also, you know what? I might just show you around the level a little bit. So, so now that we're outside of the play mode, let me just go back into immersive. I can just show you the level if you want. I can just show you how everything is built. So basically, you know, when we walk through that door and down the stairs, that was this here. So right now we're outside of the bounds where you normally, you know, play the game. And as you can see, there's a lot of emptiness here, which is normally everything that is underneath the ground. And because you're basically just playing within this tunnel, there is no need to have anything out here. That's why this is just a huge void. Yeah, so you go down there, and then here, and then this is basically where the other character is that I was talking about. So we can just fly there and have a look. Yeah, this is where we started last time when we played. We started the game here. So let me go down here and see. And then this is this whole liberation mechanic thing. And where's our Fox character? Ah, yeah, yeah. So there's our other Fox character. Let me just look into the chat and see. Would be amazing if the game made it to consoles eventually. Very casual console. Yeah, yeah. So I am a total, like, I have been growing up with consoles. If you read the last section on the campaign page of the campaign description, I actually talk about my childhood and growing up with consoles, and Pong being the first game that I ever played as a child. Yeah, so I would really want to have it on console. I mean, I'm playing it, and it is right now optimized for Xbox controller. So obviously, this is the only way for me, the only real way to play a game. So basically, yeah, I'm gonna try everything I can. The only problem is that it is vastly more resource intensive to develop something for console, which means you know, if we're supposed to have it on console, we just have to have a really successful campaign as a starting point, and then that's not even going to be enough. We just got to make sure, like, we need a ton of support basically from the community, so that either we gather enough resources ourselves to make it, or at some point we bring in a publisher or somebody who is willing to basically pay what it costs to port something on consoles. Because the problem is that technically it's just more development that has to go into it so that everything works. Because you know, every console has its own kind of ecosystem and its own quirks and so on. So there's just technical stuff that goes into it, but then there's also just formal stuff where you have to register basically for the platform. You have to actually get certified for the platform, and that is just there's just a whole process to go through, which is not the case with PC. With PC, it's just way easier, and that is why we start the whole thing on PC. And then everything else really depends on the support that we get. It really depends on the kind of you know, community that we can build around the game. Because obviously, you know, nobody's going to pay for for development for all kinds of platforms, if you cannot show them that there is a community out there who would support such a game. So that's really, we just have to show them that there is, there are people out here who, want to see this game on consoles. Yeah, exactly. The development kits are also something you have to then, buy yourself. And obviously with a PC, it's easier because you're just developing on a PC. But the dev kits basically are like supercharged versions of the consoles, and they usually cost a little bit of money as well. And yeah, there's just a lot of stuff that goes into it, and that makes it more just more resource intensive to do it compared to just going for PC. I will have to calculate some fun. Really coming to me. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, not everybody who wants to support the campaign has to necessarily contribute. You can just really, it could be a huge support if you just make sure that you just spread the word, and that you just tell everybody, everybody who could be interested, and so on. If you just tell them about the project, and also just share the link, like if you go the URL that you see down there, uncagegame.com. If you go there, it just brings you directly onto the campaign. So you can just take that campaign link, and you can just spread it everywhere. And if you find a few people who want to contribute, that's basically an easy way to do something that doesn't cost you anything other than a little bit of time, of course. But yeah, there's just so many different things that you can do to support the campaign. Doesn't necessarily have to be contributing money. Okay. So vegan activist game was really behind this. Yeah, that's my hope. I mean, we have a huge community out there. I've been part of the community for 12 years now, so my hope is that we can galvanize the community and kind of communicate to them that this is really something with a lot of potential, and something that can be really powerful and actually change the world to the better for animals, not only in gaming but also in the real world. And hopefully we're going to be successful enough with that for the next 30 days, so that we can get this thing rolling, and then go from there. Okay. Yeah, and then also, everybody, if you have questions or so, Kana is in the chat. She's doing all our community, outreach and everything. So, yeah, she's also in the chat, and you can basically interact with Kana or with me, because obviously while I'm focusing on the screen, I'm just not as good with multitasking, and I might forget the chat sometimes. So that's why there's two of us. And I think I even saw David, who does our project management. I think he was also here at some point. But yeah, let's just, I think I want to see if I can show you another character. Let me try to find, I have a little demo level, but this is like super unprepared now, where it's basically just a little demo level of the orangutan character, but I just have to check it out real quick and see where it is. So give me a second, and then we're gonna go from there. So let me see if I go here. There should be a Miles combat mechanics somewhere here. Miles combat system. That's it. Now, if we go into the map, so there has been a lot of so it's been a lot of time since I tested the orangutan character lastly. So so I'm not sure if anything is even going to work. So really going to have to hope that, yeah, I think this is looking fairly good. So this is, by the way, how a prototyping level actually looks like. So when you're working on a prototype of a certain gameplay mechanics, this is what that looks like. So basically, you know, you have a very minimal kind of level design, and then in there you have the enemy characters, who are these guys. They're basically the same enemies that we had in the map, with the exception that they don't have any AI behavior here. So right here they're meant to be more like ragdolls, basically, so that the player character has something to attack. So therefore they're not going to show any behavior. The only reason that they're here for is just so that Omid can attack other characters. And then, as you can see, the fur on Omid is actually, you know, has some physics, and there's some, you know, some wind interaction and stuff going on here. So he's just a really beautiful boy, as you can see. This is Omid. Yeah, and I would say let's just give this a try and see if it's fun. I'm gonna go a little bit louder with the sound here, because there is no music in this one, but there's just the combat just has sound effects, so I want you to be able to hear that. Okay, let's go for it. Okay, so this is super simple. It just basically goes for a chain attack, where, like, a game that I played in the past that has a similar mechanic would be Shadow of Mordor, where you have these chain attacks where you attack several enemies in a chain. Let me show you. This is what it looks like, basically. While you're attacking one enemy, you can go and attack the other enemy, and then you have a time window where you can, you know, if you're fast enough, you can go for the next one, and so on. And I think that was all of the enemies, and that's more or less the mechanic. So Omid can also just run around, jump, and that's more or less it. He can just, you know, beat up enemies, and obviously they don't look that well anymore. And he can just jump and run. That's what he does, and I think that's awesome. So that's Omid for you. And if you just let him stand there, he's gonna obviously just have his idle animation. But yeah, so this is like a super minimal prototype design, and this is exactly how you would start every game. You start in a very empty, very minimal level, and then you come up with some mechanics, and then you would actually stay in here for a very long time and try to really polish the mechanics as much as you can, until you get to a point where you feel like they're more or less done, and that's when you start actually then building levels and building stuff around the mechanics. And the reason for that is also pretty simple to explain. If you do it the other way around, you're going to build a level that can be completely unsuitable once you bring in the mechanics and the systems and everything. So that's why you first design the systems and the mechanics, so that you know how to build the level around those mechanics so that it is fun. Otherwise, you're going to build a level that is then going to basically, you know, like, what's the right word for it? It's not just going to not play that well with the mechanics. And yeah, so it's, it's one of the things that a lot of beginning game devs have to learn the hard way, because obviously when you think of game development, at least for me, it has always been thinking of game development is imagining how to build levels yourself. So naturally, that is, in most cases, that is the first thing that people do. They just go in and start building levels. But if you actually want to make a game, it's just way more important to first have the mechanics and first have the systems, and then build the levels around those systems. Yeah. So back to Umid. Let's maybe I can give you one more round of beating these guys up if you want. Let me just see what kind of feedback you guys have for me. Hi, everybody. Hi, Patrick. Hi, Mano drums. So orangutan fighting is very interesting. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I like it. It's together with the mechanics that Miles has. This is one of the more fun things. But and I also like. In this case, I know exactly what I want to do with it in the game. Obviously, I'm not going to tell you right now because I don't want to spoil anything. But if I find enough time to work enough on the demo that is going to come out, I'm actually trying to maybe build this into the demo so it's going to be one of the later parts in the demo. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, it's I think it's going to be very if I can actually achieve what I'm trying to achieve, it's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, should we do one more round of beating these guys up? I think we should. So let's go for it. Okay, let's go a different direction this time. Let's go this, and then ouch, that was brutal. And that was the last one. And that's all meat for you. Okay. Yeah, so that was 3 different animal characters that we have right now. Is there anything else I want to show you right now? Let me think. I think now is a good time for questions. If you have any questions that you want me to answer live and raw and unfiltered, now is the time. So if you want, you can just ask me anything right now. I'm gonna in the background. I'm gonna maybe switch back to the regular demo level and maybe show a little bit of activist gameplay one more time for everybody who doesn't want to jump back and show the other stream. So I'm gonna just do that on the background, and while I'm doing that, you can just ask some questions, and I'm going to try to answer them as good as I can. So let's go project settings, maps and modes, UNCAGE prototype. That's where we're trying to go. Let's see, here's the chat. So, do we have any questions? What was the first character before the fox and the orangutan? Yeah, the first character was Miles. Miles is a meerkat, as a genetically modified meerkat, freed from a military experimentation lab. And Miles is actually a bridge from the UNCAGE universe to the Earthraiser universe, because Miles is a character that I had actually written for the movie script of the Earthraiser movie. So Earthraiser is a graphic novel, but was initially actually meant to be a movie. So there is a movie script, like kind of short version of a movie script. This is 60-page document basically where I have kind of outlined the movie idea to the Earthraiser movie. And Miles is the first animal character that Wolf Winter, the hero of Earthraiser, actually speaks with. And In the beginning, Wolf thinks that he's losing his mind because there's this meerkat and he can actually hear the meerkat speak, and apparently nobody else can hear that, because in Earthraiser, obviously, the animals don't speak, but Wolf can at some point, because of his condition, can actually understand them. That's the way we did it there. And yeah, Miles was one of the characters from the movie script, and he made it into the new game, which the idea is that it's obviously a completely new project, but at the same time, a lot of my heart is in Earthraiser, so I'm kind of building bridges, and the idea is that both of these two worlds could be kind of part of the same universe, although the stories themselves don't have a lot of overlap. But yeah, obviously we have some characters that are in both worlds. So that was Miles, and then Assassin's Creed spliced with Arkham style, one skilled warrior. Yeah. Omid is it's a badass orangutan. So Miles the meerkat dancing on screen. Yeah, while I'm talking about Miles, he's just doing all kinds of shenanigans here. Yeah, I just thought. By the way, this the frame with Miles and everything, I just made that like 10 minutes before I went on the stream, so that was very last minute. But I just wanted to have something funny on the screen. If I'm boring, then at least Miles is gonna save the day and make everybody out there laugh. That was the plan. So. When will the game be finished? Well, it depends on. Let me maybe give you something nicer to look at. It really depends on what happens with the campaign right now. So I have been working on an animal rights game for 2 years now. It has been, for the longest part, until early this summer. It has been actually a game version of Earthraiser that I was working on. By the way, in a future stream, and I'm gonna put this out there within our Discord community and our backers and the UNCAGE's Discord. I'm gonna put this out there and have people vote on it. And maybe you can now already say what you think. But what we could do is, there is actually a ton of demos that I have done for Earthraiser. So what we could also do is we could just play Earthraiser at some point. And it's a vastly different game, because UNCAGE is supposed to be child friendly, and then Earthraiser is it was always targeted towards an adult audience. So at some point, if you want to see a demo of Earthraiser, we can do that as well. But I think for now we want to just focus on UNCAGE. But to get back to the question of how long it's going to take. So if the campaign is successful, and it really has to be successful in order for me to be even, able to properly continue working on it. Because the problem is that, because I've been working on it for 2 years, and I've been really putting all my resources into it, which means time, energy, and money, I'm really not in a position to continue working on it without having some kind of budget to, just sustain my own costs and stuff. Because obviously those 2 years, I've spent a lot of time that I could have spent to just, work on other stuff that actually makes money, into putting it into the project, which obviously, as long as the game doesn't exist and I can't sell it, there's no money in it. So that means that I really put everything in it that I have. So I'm not in a position to continue doing that if we don't get the campaign to be successful and we don't get a budget. So in order for me to even continue working on it, we just have to somehow make the campaign work. That's the one thing. And then ideally, we want to make it work really well, so that I can, that we have enough budget so that we can actually bring some people into the team. So, and that's why right now my focus is just completely on the campaign, because, if the campaign doesn't work, the game is just not going to go anywhere. So yeah, so right now my focus is that. But once the campaign is done and we hopefully have a budget, I would go right away into actual development, because right to this point I would call what I have right now a prototype. But then we're going to actually start working on the game when we, when the campaign is over. And I expect, in a perfect world, I would want to be done within 2 years, and also have like milestones where everybody who supports the campaign is basically going to get early access to all the different versions. So we're going to go into alpha at some point, which is probably going to be a year after we start development. And then after 1.5 years, we might go into a beta and so on. So if you support the campaign right now, you're actually gonna get access to those, earlier versions as well. If you have actually purchased the game through the campaign, then you will also get early access to all those versions. Yeah, so the early versions could basically already be out half a year after we start actually working on it, so like mid 2024. But that's then of course going to be like super early versions, and then obviously we're going to work on that, iterate on that, and then the finished product, I would say realistically would be, if everything goes perfectly, after 2 years. And if there's some obstacles, it might maybe be between 2 years and 3 years. I think that's kind of a realistic time frame. Then what else? Oh yeah, Charlton Heston would approve of our orangutan gameplay. Yeah, I bet he would. So Vegan Games is asking, have you thought of giving the ape character guns? Sort of like the Planet of the Apes. Oh, that's what the reaction with Charlton Heston was. Yeah, so I'm not going to do that, because that would immediately turn the game into a shooter, which is, I don't want to do that. I agree though that would be a great game. It's that would just not be UNCAGE. So yeah, if anybody wants to make that game, I would probably actually want to play it. Like if you would have some, it would basically be a perfect Planet of the Apes kind of game version. So yeah, I would totally want to play that, but yeah, it's not a plan for UNCAGE, because as I said, it's the combat that we have. One reason that I'm giving the animals combat mechanics, but the humans are not going to have it, is because I call it stylized violence. So when you have an ape that is beating up humans, I feel like that has some kind of slapstick element to it, which makes it different from actually shooting people. That's like that. Then at that point, when you start shooting people, it kind of becomes a little bit more of not stylized anymore and actual violence. And that's really not something I want to have in the game, just because I want to have it as child friendly as possible. So I mean, obviously you're not going to have little kids play this, but I am aiming for something like PG-13. So yeah, some probably not going to have orangutan shooting people, but I would be interested in that game if somebody does it. So I would donate once my job pays me. Yeah, thank you so much. I got lottery ticket, and if I win, I pay the development of the game. Thank you, Richard. That would be very nice of you. I just don't know. Or, yeah, unfortunately, I do know that the chances are usually pretty slim. But, I mean, fingers crossed. I hope you win. But if not, I think, yeah, we're going to figure something out to maybe at least get a little bit of the word out and stuff. I mean, I already answered your message, and obviously I'm now going to fly to Australia. But once I'm back from Australia, and that's early next week, we we should definitely hop on a stream together. Or what I would also want to try is I could actually have you on your own stream play the demo. We just have to see how much of a latency we have, because right now the only way to do that would be to basically give you access to the computer here, which, you know, wouldn't be a problem. But yeah, we could do that. Or yeah, actually I could also just package the game and send it to you. So that is something we could totally do. I could send you a packaged version of the game, and you could just test it out on the stream. Just tell everybody that it is a prototype, because there's going to be bugs in it, you know, obviously, so that you know, everybody knows that it's not supposed to be. This is not supposed to be anything that is normally published or anything. It's just really a prototype of the game to just show off what we're trying to achieve with it. Okay, so it has a bit more cathartic factor. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so my idea is that we're gonna just do a little bit of activist gameplay now, and then I think that's gonna be it for the stream. If there's more questions, you can just you know, while I'm playing, you can just ask them. So I'm still here. I try to get as many as I can. Oh, by the way, one thing that I want to show you is, so last time when I showed you the water, I mean, if you remember, you know that I was really excited about the water. I think I just spoke about the water for like 15 minutes or something like that, and I stayed here. I fixed the height of the physics volume, so at least I think that I did it. Yeah, looks good. So this now looks a little better. So when it's gonna now, look, the swimming movements are now correct. So yeah, that's just something I wanted to show you. I just love swimming. I don't know. I'm always disappointed when games don't involve swimming, because I think mostly it's just because water just looks awesome. Like if the shader is well done, and with this one I'm actually pretty happy with it. I just love how it looks. So, yeah, obviously this is a little bit not exactly working perfectly yet, but it will be. So let's just try to get up there. Yeah. So what's working pretty well is the climbing mechanics, and kind of so this guy can climb ladders, can climb you know, a little bit of kind of a parkour type climbing mechanics are in there. He actually also has a grapple hook mechanic, but his grapple hook needs extra target points, and I haven't implemented them to this level yet, so that's why I can't really show you his grapple hook mechanic, right? And it's also not as awesome as Miles' grapple hook mechanic is, because like it's not as fast and not as it's more meant to enable you to get to places where you wouldn't be able to get you know, without it. So it's a little bit of a different function that it plays in the game. Yeah, so maybe. Oh yeah, so last time I also asked them. So right now this is set up in a way where I can switch back and forth between first person and third person. So obviously I'm now in first person, and I can switch back out to the third person. And I think last time there was a pretty resounding kind of opinion in the chat that third person is just is better, and I think I also like that's really what I feel as well. So I think in the demo, and then probably also later in the game, I'm gonna set it up in the way where it's gonna be normally just third person, and then at different places in the game where it makes sense, it's going to switch to first person. But the normal kind of regular version of the camera is going to be a third person camera, because I just feel like you lose so much when you don't see the animal, the character animation. Okay, so now because we're a human, we have to be careful so that the enemies don't see us. Because if they catch us, now they're gonna react. Now they're gonna actually try to kill us. So, and that's something we don't want. So we'll have to sneak into that place. Oh, I see one of the enemies over there. So maybe let's just not take the direct way, which is how it's meant to be anyways. But go over there and just sneak into the just sneak in by going underground. So as you know, when you remember when we played the Fox, we were under the ground in the tunnel system. So, and then everybody who has seen the first stream knows that. So we're now gonna look for that arc over there. If you look like all the way over there, there's an arc. We're gonna call that an arc. There's a concrete structure. We're trying to get there so that we can. One of my favorite things to do is just running through this field. So there's a hatch here. Take the hatch, and that takes us underground. Okay, so let's see. There we go. Almost fell down there. The Fox. Hey, how you doing, buddy? Camera's a little bit blurry here. Oh, there's actually two of them. I thought there was only one. They're trying to come in. Oh, it's even three. What the hell? There's a lot of foxes here. Oh yeah, this is a different version of the level. So in the other version that we were just playing, I actually removed some of the fox characters, and I was surprised that they're still here in this version. And we have the sleeping one here. Oh, is that cute or what? The foxes are just really my favorite. I don't know. Yeah, so now we also have. I can now just demonstrate real quick the liberation mechanic, as I call it. So let's go here, and then we have to spam the Y key until we get a little bit of force feedback, and then we open this thing. So, and then when I implemented it, the idea is that the fox is then going to jump out and just be free. Like first person in here at least. Yeah, so now we're gonna break into the fur farm. I wanna just free or just open the cage up there as well. And then I think I'm gonna call it for today. It's gonna be 1.5 hours, so I think I don't want to bore any of you, and then also, if there's anything else you want to know, or anything you want to let us know, now's the time, because probably in 10 minutes or so, I think I'm going to be done with this stream. This is going to be the last stream before the weekend, because as I said, on the weekend I'm going to be in Australia, which I'm now in Germany, so that's going to be a little bit of a travel. So before the weekend I'm not going to do any other stream, and then early next week I'm going to be back, and I might then stream next week Wednesday or something like that. I also want to see if I can maybe set up something with Richard, so I might, instead of streaming myself, I might actually do something where vegan games can actually play the game on this stream, and I might just join and just be in the chat or just I don't know, join the stream. We'll see. So we'll do something like that when I'm back from Australia. At least I would like to do something like that. So let's switch back to so we're out here again. Another thing that I really like is these atmospheric effects here. But, oh, by the way, with the last stream, I remember that some of you were telling me that the dust particles, the footstep particle effects, they're pretty extreme. Yeah, I know that. I'm gonna fix it for the next one. It's just something that I have ignored all this time. It's been like that for weeks, and it didn't really bother me. But now I felt like, oh, if other people are watching, I should probably fix that. So I'm gonna do it. I have Richard is saying I have an RTX 4090. Yeah, that's perfect. I'm playing on a 3090 right now, and I think it is okay. So if you have a 4090, it should definitely be a little bit better. And then yeah, we'll see. I think it's gonna be fun. So you should definitely be fine. It's if somebody has a smaller machine, this is gonna be too much right now. So that's why when we're gonna put out the demo, we gotta see how we do it, because it's running well on mine. Kana's machine has a 3080, and the 3080 was also fine. So she said her FBX was also okay. Yeah, if you have a smaller machine, this level would be a little bit too much. So on smaller machines it wouldn't run. That's why when we put out the demo, we're going to probably have one version that is a little bit more minimal. So if this one doesn't work on your machine, then you can just take the more optimized and not as pretty version, so that everybody just has something that runs on their machine. That's just the situation right now, because obviously in a big gaming company, a lot of resources go actually into optimizing the game, which is something that I haven't done this far, because before you optimize it, you want to be at a point where you know that you're done with iterating on it. And that's not the case yet, so that's why this is still pretty unoptimized and only runs on let's say pretty good gaming machines. So okay, just let me see if there's anything in the chat. Yeah, so I've actually tested it on my laptop as well. Not this level though. The last time I tested something, but I have to say that was something that was about as performance hungry as this is, and it was an Earthraiser demo, and that would then run actually pretty okay on my laptop as well. So if you have a gaming laptop, you should be fine. Okay, so enemy is over there. We want to make sure that they don't see us, because otherwise, oh no. Okay, let's see if we can shake him off. Look at that light. That was my attempt of getting a little bit of the atmosphere. Okay, so I think for the end of the stream, and because if you watch the other stream, you know that is my favorite part. I'm just gonna go out here and just let the enemies kill me. But before I do that, let's see if there's any more questions. Yeah, definitely. So if we would have the time to optimize this a little bit, it would run on any machine. So it's really, optimization is just a core part of game development. The problem is, because we want to publish it by the end of the campaign, and because there's still a lot of stuff that I want to implement into it, and that, you know, I want to kind of show to everybody who gets the demo, it's probably not going to be, you know, optimized enough. It's definitely not going to be optimized enough, and it's also not going to be play tested enough. So it is going to be buggy, and it is going to require a little bit of performance. But obviously that is just because I'm trying to give everybody something that is very recent and that has most of the gimmicks that we have implemented already. So I want to, you know, give everybody as much as possible, and that's gonna have it be pretty unoptimized. But then once a few months of development have happened, we're gonna then definitely, you know, give something out that is gonna be way better optimized, and then obviously the actual game is gonna be done in a way where you can dial in the settings in a way that it's then gonna run on most machines. I mean, obviously if you have something that is like 50 years old from the 70s, that's probably not gonna work. But if you have, you know, kind of a you know, your average machine that is not like the weakest one, you should be okay. Because, you know, obviously at some point we want to also have it on console, and that means, you know, if you only develop for super high-end PCs, you're never going to get that onto console. So we have to keep performance kind of in mind, so that we keep the option open to at some point port it for consoles, which is what I definitely want to do. And now it's time to just show ourselves to the enemies and see what happens. Okay, I don't see them. Doesn't matter, we're gonna just say hello to the box characters. How's it going? Hello? Hello? No. You're facing through the bucket there. That's not good. That's not good for your nose. Okay, so yeah, that's it. I think let's just find an enemy. So I can finish. I can finish this round. Right. Interesting. It's possible, because I opened the door, it would be possible that they actually went downstairs and that they are actually on the ground, which would be funny because thus far they never did that. So I'm gonna go and check. That would be really funny if they went on the ground, because I think we left the door open here. So one thing that they can't do right now is they cannot open doors. Oh, okay, so they're not on. They're here. Oh, no. Okay, that was it. That was it. Okay. That was the stream for today. I'm gonna see if there's any more questions. I'm gonna go through them, and then I think we're gonna wrap it up for today. So let's see. If it's not optimized for smaller machines, then you'll miss out on a larger sales demographic. Yeah, obviously. That's why I said the actual game, once it is finished, is definitely going to be you know, optimized for, because I mean, we want to get it onto as many machines as possible, because we want to have as many people as possible play it. So obviously the you know, the actual game later on is going to be optimized. But as I said, this is just a prototype, so it's not possible to, especially not like when you play a game that looks like this, you know, from a big studio. They got a few hundred people working on those, so I cannot do the same thing, being, you know, just a solo dev with some volunteers helping me. So that's not possible. That is why we need a budget, and that is why we have to put together a team, and you know, that's when we then have the resources to optimize stuff. Right now, we're just, you know, that's why this is called a prototype, because it is basically just to show off what we're trying to build. And then when you have the budget, you take that and then you build the actual thing. This is like a model of what we're trying to build, just a demo version. Okay, so what else? Will you also add a warning tune that shows you are detected and being pursued soon? Yeah, definitely. So obviously, I mean, there is a little bit of that already implemented. If you have eyes on the enemy, you actually see there is an icon that is right above their head, and that icon actually gives you that information. But right now there is no, you know, you don't have an extra UI element that detects that. I'm a little bit torn on that, I have to say, because the more UI and, you know, HUD elements and stuff you put in there, I feel the less immersive the game becomes. So I'm trying to keep UI as minimal as possible. As you see right now, we almost have no heads over display stuff and no UI, and I feel like that just makes everything a little bit more realistic and immersive, because, you know, in real life you don't walk around and have like 10 different things giving you infos, but obviously for the game, it's kind of, you know, for the gameplay itself to be smooth, you need some of that. So yeah, so I think we're going to have some way that that you can detect that. It might even be through audio. Audio is also something where we could have like a signal or something that when you're detected, it just gives you and basically some audio that gives you the info. So yeah, we're definitely gonna try to implement that. So thanks for answering questions, Connor, by the way, and reacting to everybody. Yeah, I think the 3060 should also be fine. We'll have to give it. I mean, and then obviously, I am gonna do some optimization on this. Like one thing, I mean, I can very quickly show you. There is stuff here that is not even used. That still takes performance, takes some of the performance away. As for instance, when I go over here, there is this section. There's this section here. It's just stuff that is not used, but I just threw it in there because I'm playing around with stuff just to see what works and what doesn't work. This is just like super work in progress. Before I give the demo out, you know, after the campaign, I'm going to delete all the stuff that is not being used, and I'm going to only keep the stuff that is actually part of the gameplay in the level. That is already going to do something. And then there are some other things that are pretty easy to do, like level streaming and stuff like that I haven't done yet, but I know that I can do them in like 2 or 3 days. So that's all stuff that I'm going to do as the very last step before I give the demo out. So we might actually be even able to, you know, get it optimized enough to run on a lot of machines in this version. I mean, obviously, as I said, there is going to be a simplified version that is definitely going to run on all machines, but we might actually even get this version to run on pretty much everything if I find the time. It's just something that I cannot exactly promise right now, because, you know, we just have to see how well everything goes. And yeah, as I said, with my traveling and everything, it's just not that easy to just get everything in that you want to really do. So let's see, I'm also learning. So Christopher saying it's also learning game dev while also being a game addict. Yeah, that's a great combination, isn't it? And it's really great seeing a game that highlights the industries that exploit animals. Yeah, thank you so much, fellow game addict and game dev. aspiring game dev. So in general, the animal rights movement does need more art like this. Yeah, I think interactive storytelling, which is what games are, they're interactive storytelling and interactive art, is, in my opinion, the most powerful way to communicate animal rights, because you can literally put the player into the shoes of animals. Like, we do it with our animal characters here, but obviously this is supposed to be still playful, but you could do it in a more extreme way where you could basically almost like have a horror game where you are an animal, like just a cow that is going through the life of a cow inside of the industry, and that would be a really scary horror game, horror survival game. And what I'm trying to say is that the possibilities that games and interactive art and interactive storytelling gives you are vastly more powerful than anything we have out there right now. So right now, I think the most effective tool that we have are basically the video footage that animal rights activists take when they go into facilities and they expose what's happening there, which is what you're going to do in the game here. You're basically going in. You can also put cameras in there. By the way, that is something that I also have to showcase. So that's going to be one of the next streams to show you some of the camera logic. That mechanic is not done yet. That's why I haven't I haven't showed it yet. But I'm definitely going to show it pretty soon, because that's also some of the more unique kind of mechanics that we have here. So you can actually go in, you can put cameras at places, and then you can record footage. And the idea in the finished game is that footage you can then actually publish on social media. Like, from within the game, you could basically upload that stuff onto YouTube and your social media, as if it was footage that you take in real life. The idea is that of course gives us also a tool to reach more people, because people are going to see stuff where they don't exactly know what's going on. It's going to look like it is some undercover footage, and then if you look a little bit closer, you're going to see, oh, is this a game or is this real? And the idea is that helps us actually reach even more people with the game. So there's going to be, like, let's say we have a gaming community of, I don't know, let's be really optimistic and say we have like 10,000 people play the game at a time. But if they all would then publish their footage that they take in the game, and it would be out there, that could actually reach like 100 times more people. So that way we would gain more and more reach, and we would actually have more and more people actually know about the game, and it's of course a great marketing tool as well. So that is something that we're thinking about, and as far as I know, there are no games that do that. I mean, obviously there are games where you can take in-game gameplay footage, but the idea here is that you're an undercover activist, and it is actually, your job in the game is basically to take that footage, but you can then also publish that in the real world, which gives you kind of a bridge between the game and the real world. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we're trying to build into the game. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I'm gonna have to show you in the next few streams that we're gonna make. Okay, so Richard is saying, if you come back to Canada, we need to hit up a good vegan restaurant. We can also rip around in my side. Yeah, that sounds good. I might destroy your sidecar, because I think I'm even heavier than I used to be. No, I'm not heavier, but I'm almost as heavy as I used to be when I was still competing. But I'm not as in shape anymore. So I'm a heavy boy. Might be too heavy for you, but you're actually pretty massive these days as well. So at least we're gonna be in balance, I guess. I'm not gonna be too heavy on my side. So 100% agree. It's such a powerful interactive medium. Yeah. So definitely it is. So, and what I'm really trying to say is that in interactive storytelling is not only powerful, but it is also pretty much completely unutilized by the movement, and that's really what I'm trying to do here. Is I'm just trying to make like UNCAGE become some kind of proof of concept, and then hopefully that's gonna make a lot of people with maybe more resources or more talent or whatever then actually jump on the bandwagon and kind of do something similar and maybe even better than what I can do. That's really the goal here. The goal is not just to make this game, but to actually show that there is a community out there that supports something like that, and there is actually money to be made with something like that. Because if we want the big publishers to do something like this and maybe do it way better than I could, we can only do that by showing them that there is an audience that they that are going to buy their product so they can make money out of it. Because obviously those big productions, they just cost a lot of money, so there's a lot of risk involved, and it's going to be just important to just show them that it's worth taking the risk, and that's why it is really important. I mean, of course, to me it's personally important that we make this work and UNCAGE become successful, but apart from my personal goals, I think it is really also really important for the movement itself, because it might then just open up the possibility that we have, like, in 10 years that we might have dozens of games doing what I'm trying to do here, and maybe even in a way more effective way. And that's really what I'm dreaming about. Like back in the day when I went vegan as a strongman, there were no other vegan strongman competing internationally. And today we have all these powerlifters, bodybuilders, strongman. We have like thousands and thousands of vegan strength athletes out there, just rocking it and doing stuff that is way more impressive than what I did back in the day. And that's really what I'm trying to do with UNCAGE as well. So ideally, if we can rock this, I think there's so much more that can come after this. And by the way, me and my team, we really also want to continue, like once UNCAGE is done, and we're obviously right now we're just looking forward to being able to develop it. But once it is developed, the idea is not to just then leave, but the idea is really to put together a little game development studio and continue making games like this. Because I have like 10 different ideas for other animal rights games that are already in my head. One of them would be the Planet of the Apes game, which is not my idea, obviously, but that would be an awesome game as well. And then there's also the Earthraiser game that I never got to finish. So there's just so much stuff that I would like to do. So if we can get this to be successful, we're not going to stop here. We're going to just really then continue and make more games like this. And I think, and then I'm pretty sure that some indie developers and maybe even some big studios might actually join us, and the gaming world might look very different in 10 years from now if we can make this work. So I hope it comes across that I'm really trying to get this point across. If if you can support the campaign in some way, it doesn't have to be money. You can just support it by spreading the word and helping us reach more people. Please, let's do this together. I mean, the movement is strong. The movement is huge. So if we just work together, I think we can easily bring this through the finish line. And I think it can be something that really benefits what we as an animal rights movement are trying to achieve. So as I like to say, let's uncage the world together. Thanks, everybody. I want to have another look at the cage, at the chat before I leave you with this. So let's see. I guess I just have to ask. Okay, so there's a real quick question here. You said this is going to be a child-friendly. Yeah. Does that mean that there is going to be no sightings of gas chambers, slaughters, etc.? So Axel Bertel Dahlström, I think is the name. The question is if all the terrible stuff that is happening, if we're not going to show that, because it's going to be child friendly. And that tells me that you haven't seen the last stream. because in the last stream I actually explained that, and I think I'm gonna really quickly show you how I've been trying to tackle that problem. Because obviously, if you're making an animal rights game, you gotta show the terrible stuff that is happening out there. But at the same time, how do you make that child friendly, and how do you not make that some kind of splatter porn? Because, you know, if you show everything unfiltered, it can very quickly become just some kind of I don't know, like voyeuristic, perverse thing, which I don't want, obviously. So there is actually a section here where I can show you how I'm doing it right now. I don't know if that's exactly how we're gonna do it in the end product, but it shows you that there are solutions to it. So let me just go there and do this real quick. Okay, so let me just take us to where it is. So we would then come out here. I just got to grab the character and bring it over here so that I don't have to walk all the way to get here. So it can be a little bit quicker. So the player character is here. I just grab and pull. Here we go. Okay, so let's just play one more time. Just give me a second to go back to full screen, and then we're going to play it, and then I'm going to show you how we're trying to solve the issue that, on the one hand, we're trying to obviously show the problem, which is what the animals go through, but on the other hand, you want to make it in a way that, you know, it still stays PG-13, and it doesn't become like some kind of splatter porn. I don't know how to call it otherwise. Because that was one of the things, like on the first day, basically, when I was putting together this level. That was one of the first challenges that came up, because it was obviously meant to be a fur farm, and in the fur farm I had a lot of reference material. In the reference material you always have these terrible piles of dead animals. So I was thinking, I made a pile of dead animals, but then it just didn't feel right. Oh no, that's not good. Let's try to get away from here. So I have a little bit of time to show you. We're gonna get killed here. Let me first get away from the enemy, and then I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. So there's basically a pile of dead rabbits here, and I have basically found a solution to have them here, but at the same time kind of treat the whole thing with a little bit of respect. Oh, what are we doing? Okay. That's what I'm trying to do. Yeah. So as you can see, where did I end up? Okay. Let's do that one more time. What we can do is I can actually just remove the enemies for a second, so that or you know what, we don't even have to play. We can actually just go there, because the effect works within play mode and also outside of play mode. So what I'm trying to show you is this. These are the dead rabbits. So when you see this, you actually, you know what it is. But at the same time, you're not seeing the full gruesome detail. So that's kind of the concept of what I would try to do. So I would try to keep all of the truth in here and all of the reality in here, because I feel like that is something that just has to be there, because it's not an animal rights video game if it doesn't show the reality that, you know, that is the problem. But at the same time, it's going to be filtered, and in this case censored, in a way where it just doesn't just hit you with splatter. And that's really what I'm going to try to, you know, try to go for with the project. This is just one version to do it. We might come up with a different solution, but I think if you're smart about it, there's always ways to not have to, you know, filter out anything, but at the same time, you know, have it still be suitable for, you know, PG-13. Okay, anything else? Run. Yeah, bye, Patrick. Bye for the stream. Oh, wonderful. Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, so yeah, this is Unreal Engine 5.2. This is like 5.3 is the newest version, so 5.2 is pretty recent, and it is definitely, at least for what I'm trying to do, it is the best game engine out there to do what I'm trying to do. Okay. Yeah, so I think I'm going to wrap it up at this point. Bite-sized video made a great series explaining industry ways that's suitable for children. Perhaps she can inspire you. Yeah, I'm going to definitely look into it when I have a minute. Maybe even post a link to the video that you mean, or to the you know, to the content that you're talking about with Bite-sized Vegan. Maybe just post it into the comments. So this video is going to still be there on demand after I stop the stream. So maybe you can just put it into the comments, and I'm going to check it out later. So thank you so much, everybody. I'm going to wrap it up now. So yeah, thank you so much. I hope this was enjoyable. I hope I showed you enough of the project so that you have kind of an idea what we're trying to go for, and I really appreciate everybody who was with us, and of course everybody, all the supporters who were also here, and my team, and thanks to everybody. It's going to be a week or something like that until I'm going to be back, but we're going to do more of these streams and going to try to show you as much of the game as possible, and actually also the game development while we're going for, you know, through the campaign, and then while I'm also trying to put together the demo so that we can then get that out to everybody after the campaign is wrapped up. Thank you so much, everybody. Bye. Have a great evening. Have a great week. Bye bye. Have a good time. Now I gotta find the button to stop the stream. That's gonna take a second, I guess. So, yeah, down here.